Good morning, students. Welcome to 7th Standard Social Science, Term 3, History, 3rd Unit, Jainism, Buddhism and Ajvika Philosophy in Tamil Nadu. So, children, listen carefully to this session, and in case of any doubts, make a note of it. We shall be clarified on the day of reopening. So, now let's enter into today's topic. So today we are going to see about Jainism, Buddhism and Ajvika philosophy. So during the 6th century BC, according to Bihar Nitaya, an ancient Buddhist tract, as many as 62 different philosophical and religious schools flourished in India. So during the 6th century BC, many philosophical as well as religious schools flourished in India because of the new faith like Buddhism and Jainism. So now let's see the sources and literature of Jainism. So Mahavira's preaching was orally transmitted by his disciples over the course of about 1000 years. So the teachings of Mahavira was transmitted by his followers orally. And also Mahavira believed that attaining nirvana is the ultimate aim of life. So nirvana means getting rid of the desire, worldly pleasure and desire. And also around 500 AD, the Jain acharyas or teachers realized that it was extremely difficult to keep memorizing the entire Jain literature compiled by the many scholars of the past and present. So during the 500 AD, the Jain teachers, they realized that transmitting the messages orally is very difficult to memorize. So they started to compile all the literature. They started to compile all the messages given by Mahavira. So now let's see the 5 great oaths of Jainism. So oaths means the promises of Jainism. So the 5 great oaths of Jainism is Ahimsa or non-violence, Satya or truth, Asteya or non-stealing, Aparigraha or non-possession, Brahmacharya is chastity. So Ahimsa means non-violence, that is not doing any harm to living things. Satya means speaking the truth. Asteya means not stealing others' property. Aparigraha means not owned any property. And next one is Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means without marriage. So these are all the 5 great oaths of Jainism. So the Jainism is divided into 2 sections. One is Svetambaras, other one is Digambaras. So the 2 sections in Jainism are Svetambaras and Digambaras. And also the books of Jainism are compiled and it is called Agama Sutras. So the books are called Agama Sutras. So now let's see about Jain literature. So what are the books which prescribe the messages of Jainism? So the books are divided into Agama Sutras and non-Agama Sutras. So the Jainism books are divided into Agama and non-Agama. So Agama Sutras consist of many sacred books of the Jain religion. They have been written in Ardha Magadhi Prakrit language. So it is a kind of ancient language containing the direct preachings of Mahavira. So Agama Sutras is contain the direct preachings of Mahavira consisting of 12 texts. They were originally compiled by immediate disciples of Mahavira, and the 12th Agama Sutra is said to have been lost. So the 12th book is said to have been lost. And non-Agama means the literature includes commentary and explanation of Agama Sutras. So non-Agama is the explanation book of Agama Sutras and independent works compiled by ascetics and scholars. They were written in many languages such as Prakrit, Sanskrit, Old Marathi, Rajasthani, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Tamil, German and English. So non-Agama literature means the explanation of the messages in the Agama Sutra book. And also recognition was given to 84 books, and among them 41 sutras and 12 commentaries and 1 Mahabhashya or great commentary. The 41 sutras include 11 angas, that is the scriptures followed by Swetambaras, and 12 upangas, instructions manuals, and 5 chedas, rules of conduct for the monks, and 5 mullas, basic doctrine of Jainism, and 8 miscellaneous works such as Kalpa Sutra of Bhadrabahu. It is believed that the Panchatantra has a great amount of Jain influence. And then the Jain Charitra of Kalpa Sutra is a Jain text containing the biographies of the Jain Tirthankaras. So Jain Tirthankaras means the Jain monks or the Jain saint. So there are totally 24 Tirthankaras. Notably, Prashavanada, the founder of Jainism, as well as the first Tirthankara, and Mahavira, the last of the 24 Tirthankara. This work is ascribed to Bhadrabahu, who along with Chandragupta Maurya migrated to Mysore about 296 BC and settled there. So Jain Charitra of Kalpa Sutra, it contains the text of biographies of the Jain Tirthankara starting from the first to the last. So the last Tirthankara is Mahavira. So now let's see the Jains in Tamil Nadu. So there is a clear evidence of the movements of the Jains from Karnataka to the Kongu region, that is Salem, Erode and Coimbatore areas, to the Kaveri Delta, that is Tiruchirappalli, southwards into the Pudukkottai region Sittanavasal, and finally into the Pandya kingdom Madurai and Ramanathapuram and Tirunelveli district. So the Jainism evidence in Tamil Nadu are found in these areas. And also the Sittanavasal cave temple is regarded as the residence for the Jain monks, where the Jain monks will rest, and later on it became the learning center for Jainism. So Sittanavasal cave is in Pudukkottai district, is located on a prominent rock that stands 70 meters above the ground. It has natural cavern known as Eladipattam at one end and a rock cut cave temple at the other. So it has a natural features and it is carved out of rock. So behind the fenced cavern there are 17 rock beds marked on the floor. So the beds are regarded as a resting place for the Jain monks. The stone berth aligned in the rows are believed to have served as a Jain shelter. So the murals in the temple, that is the paintings in the temple, resemble the frescoes of the famous Ajanta caves. So the paintings in the Sittanavasal cave temple is similar to the paintings in the Ajanta caves, and the Archaeological Survey of India, that is ASI, took over the caves only in 1958. So now let's see about the Jains in Kanjipuram, that is Tiruparakundram. So Jainism flourished during the Pallava reign. In his writings, Chinese traveller Yuan Sang has mentioned about the presence of large number of Buddhists and Jains during his visit to the Pallava country in 7th century AD, and most of the Pallava rulers were Jain. Mahendra Varman was a Jain initially. So the Yuan Sang, a Chinese traveller, when he visited India, he found that most of the Pallava rulers were Jains, and Buddhism and Jainism were the two new faiths originated during that period. And also the two Jain temples in Kanjipuram are Tirokliyananda Jinnaswamy temple at Tirupati Kundram on the banks of the river Palar, and the Chandraprabha temple dedicated to the Tirthankara named Chandraprabha. So the architecture of these temples is in Pallava style, but it has deteriorated in due course of time. So deteriorated means it has been collapsed. During the Vijayanagar rule in 1387, Irugappa, a disciple of Jaina Muni Pushpasena and the minister of Vijayanagar king Harihara II, expanded the Trilokyananda temple by adding the Sangita Mandapa. So there is the evidence for Jainism in Kanjipuram during the Pallava period because of the two Jain temples. And also the mural paintings in the temples show scenes for the lives of Tirthankaras. So the paintings in the temple shows the scenes of the life of Tirthankaras Unfortunately, the paintings of Trilokyananda temple at Tirupati Kundram have been ruined by overpainting done during the renovation. So now the painting have been ruined means it has been destroyed. And also the 8th century Kalugumalai temple in Kovilpatti Taluk in Thoothukudi district marks the revival of Jainism in Tamil Nadu, and this cave temple was built by King Parantaka Nedunjeliyan of the Pandyan kingdom. So the Kalugumalai temple or the rock cut cave temple, it is an evidence of Jainism. And polished rock cut cave beds, popularly known as Panjavar Padukkai at Kalugumalai, it is regarded as the resting place for the Jain monks. Now let's see about Jain temples in other parts of Tamil Nadu. First one is Velur. 14 Jain monk beds dating back to the 5th century AD have been excavated inside 3 caverns on the top hill in Velur district. So 14 Jain monk beds, Jain temple have been excavated in Velur. And next one is Tirumalai. So Tirumalai is a Jain temple in a cave complex located near Arani town in Tiruvannamalai district in Tamil Nadu. So it is another Jain temple. Next is Madurai. In Madurai there are 26 caves, 200 stone beds, 60 inscriptions and over 100 sculptures in and around Madurai. The Keelakuil is the striking example. The hillock is 12 kilometers west of Madurai on the Madurai-Theni highway. So Madurai is also the evidence for the spread of Jainism. So now let's see the contribution to education because of Jainism. The Jaina monasteries and the temples also served as seats of learning. Education was imparted in these institutions to the people irrespective of caste and creed. The Jainas propagated their doctrines and proved to be a potential media of mass education. The Bhairavannamalai we have mentioned earlier is situated near a small village called Kukrapalli, and Palli is an educational center of Jains, and villages bearing the suffix of Palli are common in many places in Tamil Nadu. So the Jain institutions, it offered education irrespective of the caste and creed, and one fine example is Bhairavamalai. It is located in a small village called Kukrapalli. So hence all the Jain learning institution will end with Palli. So now let's move on to Buddhism. So Buddha's original name is Siddhartha Sakyamuni Gautama. If translated into English, it would mean Gautama who belongs to Sakya tribe and who has reached the goal of perfection. So Gautama Buddha original name is Siddhartha Sakyamuni. So in English, it is the meaning of Sakya tribe who reached the goal of perfection. And also his father ruled the tribe of Sakya in a region near the present day Nepal. So Gautama found that nothing to learn from the teachers of old religions. So the religions proclaimed that the only way to salvation. So Buddha belonged to a royal family and his father was a ruler of a Sakya clan which is in present day Nepal. And after that, Siddhartha's curiosity grew with age, and one day he asked his charioteer to take him on a tour of the city. The first person he came across was an old man who seemed weak and frail. The charioteer explained that along with age comes weakness and failing health. He then came across a sick man who was in great pain, and finally a procession carrying a dead body to the ceremonial ground. He was told that everybody would die one day and leave this world. At the end of the tour, he chanced upon a sage and who appeared calm and serene, and after inquiring, Siddhartha was told that such men gave up their worldly possessions in search of inner peace. So Siddhartha realized that all the luxurious thing is not permanent. So he came out of his palace and he did penance or meditation for 6.5 years under the Bodhi tree or the people tree in Bodh Gaya. So the eightfold path of Buddhism is right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right concentration and right mindfulness. And also the four noble truth of Buddhism is life has inevitable sufferings, there is a cause for our sufferings, there is an end to sufferings, and the end to suffering is contained in the eightfold path. But in your book it is given as life includes pain and suffering is caused because of the desire, and suffering can be overcome when you overcome your desire, and all these things can be achieved by following the eightfold path of Buddhism. So now let's see Buddhist literature. The Tripitakas as three divisions, also known as threefold basket. They include Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka and Abhidhamma Pitaka. So the Tripitakas is also called threefold basket. So Vinaya Pitaka, it contains the rules of the order of Buddhist monks which must be observed for achieving the purity of conduct. So in Vinaya Pitaka book, it contains the rules for the Buddhist monks. Sutta Pitaka, it lays down the principle of religion by citing discourses as evidence. So in Sutta Pitaka book, we can find the principles of the religion. And in Abhidhamma Pitaka, it is the last of the Tripitaka. It deals with ethics, philosophy and metaphysics. Other prominent canonical literary works in Buddhism include Jatakas. So Jatakas are various stories of the lives of Buddha found in Buddhist literature. So Jataka tales, usually it will give a moral values using the animal characters. And also Buddha Vamsa is a legend in verse containing the narration of the life and the activities of the 24 Buddhas who are believed to have preceded Gautama. So Buddha Vamsa, it contains the life history of 24 Buddhas after the Gautama Buddha. And also Milinda Panna, which means questions of Milinda, it contains a dialogue between Milinda, the Greco-Bactrian king, and the monk Nagasena over some problems that faced Buddhism. It was originally written in Sanskrit. So Milinda Panna is a book which contains the questions of Milinda to the Buddhist monk Nagasena. It is originally written in Sanskrit. So Buddha Ghosa's Visuddhimagga is a later work. He is the first Buddhist commentator. So the first Buddhist commentator is Buddha Ghosa. His book name is Visuddhimagga. And Buddha Charitra was written by Avaghosa in an epic style, and it is a Sanskrit work. It tells about the life history of Gautama Buddha. And next one is in Tamil literature that the Thevaram hymns of Saiva saints and the Nalariya Divya Pramandam of Vaishnava Alvas provided evidences to the challenges Buddhism faced in Tamil country. And when Yuan-sang, the Chinese traveller, visited South India in 7th century, Buddhism was almost on the decline. And the sculptures of Buddha in Tyaganur village in Salem district strengthen this conclusion. So there is a Buddha sculpture in Tyaganur village in Salem district. And also the Buddhist place or the center of learning is called Viharas. So this is the Nalanda University or Nalanda Vihara. So Vihara in Sanskrit means dwelling or house. Originally Viharas were dwelling places used by wandering monks during the rainy season. Later they transformed it into the centers for learning through the donation of the wealthy lay Buddhists. So it is the world famous Nalanda University or the Buddhist Learning Center. And also a 1.03 meter Buddha statue in Padmasana pose in remote Tirunattiyankudi village in Tiruvarur district was unearthed when digging a tank in a field. So while digging a tank in a field, they unearthed or excavated a Buddha statue of Padmasana pose. So now let's see about the Ajvika philosophy. So, the Ajvikas believed in the doctrine of karma and transmigration of the soul and determinism, and the head of Ajvika section was Gosala Mankhali Bhutta. And also, Gosala was closely associated with Mahavira for 6 years, and then he parted company, And the Mauryan Emperor Ashoka and his great son, that is the grandson Dasharatha, patronized the Ajvikas. So the Mauryan Emperor Ashoka and the grandson Dasharatha, they patronized Ajvikas, means they supported this philosophy. And after the collapse of the Mauryan Empire, the section declined in the northern India, but had by then spread into southern India, where it continued to exist for many centuries. So children, I hope you are clear with today's session. So you can refer your textbook pages from page number 122 to 132. So with this video, your Jainism, Buddhism and Ajvika philosophy lesson is completed. So now it's time for questions. So let's see some evaluation questions. And in case of any doubts, you can go through the whole session video once again, or else you can refer your textbook. So let's see the evaluation questions. So first one, the image of whom is considered to be the tallest Jain image in Tamil Nadu, and Buddha Charitra was written by whom? Chinese traveller Yuan-Sang visited Pallava country during which century? And who describes Buddhism as a religion in decay? And the Mauryan Emperor Ashoka and his grandson Dasharatha patronized which philosophy? So children, try to answer all these questions in the notebook which you are maintaining for social science. So with this video, Jainism, Buddhism and Ajvika philosophy in Tamil Nadu lesson is completed. Thank you.